Go. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another Social Agent follow-up webinar. Today, we're going to talk about follow-up, conversion, lead generation, the types of ads that I have that you guys see all of my clients, for those of you that are not my clients that are watching this, are using in the group. A lot of you guys see a lot of the reviews going up. Don't really quite understand what's going on in there. My name's William Hegmannn. What I do is, in the Social Agent, I provide a training for people, and it's a multi-part training. It used to be two separate things where I would sell you either one, the material for you to load on your own and do your own ads, or I would do it all for you. Over the first couple of years, I realized that that wasn't quite working. People would still stumble through it. They wouldn't set the ads up properly, etc. So I combined everything into one package. So what you get is you get all of the material, all of the follow-up information, all of everything I've ever created. Um, you can take that, the training videos that you get along with that, learn how to build ads on your own as time permits and you have time to focus on it. But what we do is we also set up our top 8, 12, 20, whatever amount of ads, depending on what package you choose for you, so that you can get off and running with leads that are generating viable, with ads that are generating viable leads for you to work, that are warm, that respond, and can be closed. But make no mistake, you still have to follow up. There is no magic pill for this, that there never will be. You will always have to call and call and call. And I think the last time I checked the numbers, it was like 12 to 16, depending on the type of ads you're using, touches before you'll even get a response from the average lead. That means some will probably respond immediately. Some will take 50 or 60 contacts. Some will take 10, right? That's why there's an average. But outside of that, we're going to talk about a lot of these things. I'm going to introduce Drewbie real quick and then go into a couple of things, and I'm going to let him talk to you guys for a few minutes. So we've got Drewbie Wilson from Call the Damn Leads on with us. He focuses primarily on follow-up and lead conversion, and he does a whole lot of other things. I'll let him tell you about that when he introduces himself as well. But he's with us. Thank you for being here, by the way. And guys, all right, so the main question I've been getting from you guys before we go into this follow-up stuff is, what types of ads do you offer? Are your ads the same cookie cutter stuff that you see out there? Absolutely not. They are not. I don't do the same old horse shit stuff that you guys see out there from a lot of these companies. And the goal for a lot of them is, and they're not all bad companies, right? But the goal for a lot of them is to get you what they think you want, which is the cheapest cost per lead, as many leads as possible, and then you're off and running. But that's a really bad thing for you guys, because if I'm generating the cheapest leads possible, I can probably generate them at 25, 50 cents a piece. But what I'm getting you is just a bunch of tire kickers and a bunch of people that are brought in on what I call, forced leads, which is, ads like "What's your home worth?" or, some sort of ad that gets them to say, "Hey, click here and I'll give you all this stuff," leading them to believe that you're going to give them this information with no strings attached. But once they get in there and they waste a few minutes, then all of a sudden they get a pop-up that says, "No, you can't get this info until you give me your information." Right? Now they get pissed off, right? And that's where you lose them. Whereas my ads, we go at it from a place of, here's what we're offering you, whether it's a list of homes or a list of open houses or a list of first-time home buyer financing information or whatever the case may be. They know on this ad that you're trying to provide specific information that applies to them only. And in order to do that, we have to get their information. We have to speak with them to get their specifics so that we can tailor what we're sending them. That way they're not digging through a bunch of information that doesn't apply to them, right? You can't just throw out a list of homes to somebody and what do and not know their criteria. What are you going to send them? Everything from 100,000 to 5 million? You don't know what they're doing, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute, and then the importance of follow-up. But for now, what I want to do is I want Drewbie's on a schedule, so he's in demand. So I only get a little bit of his time when I talk to him, but it's going to be good time for you guys. So let me pass this off to him. Let him talk to you guys a little bit about follow-up and what he does and some tips and tricks and stuff that you guys can implement. And then I'll take back over and then we'll go into the rest of the webinar.
Heck yeah. Well, Will, first and foremost, man, thanks for giving me an opportunity to be here to hang out with you a little bit. And for all of you who are here listening live, those of you that check out the replay, I want to thank you for your time to be here because time is our most valuable asset. We all know how to make money. If you're on this call, you know how to make money. Like, let's just be real. But where you spend your time and your energy, those are finite resources. So if you're here with us today, I'm truly grateful for that. And I want to leave you with some amazing value just like my man Will would do, because that's what we do. We like to help our community grow, help them make more money so that they can buy back their time to go do the things that they want and to live the life they want to live. Because that's why we're all in sales. We all want to make sales so we can make more money to live the life we want to live. That being said, I love what you said, Will, about being very direct when you're having these conversations, because we can't just give someone what they want if we don't actually know what that is. So first thing I'm going to jump right into, I want to do some tactics and trainings, and I have all of these laid out in my book. So if you want to download it, I'll make sure we'll send you guys a link, whatever, so you can check this out. But the most important thing to do is you got to make calls. And now when I say calls, I'm going to break it down for you because it's a very specific process that I utilize every single time. And because I do it the same way every time, you can get measurable results. So when Will sets up your ads and you start getting these leads coming through and they drop into your CRM, because all of you should have a CRM. And if you don't, that's a whole different conversation for a different day. But the leads are going to come in. The first thing that you're going to do, you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to call the damn lead. That's it. When it comes in, pick up the phone, call the damn lead. And what you're going to do right off the rip is you're going to confirm the reason that you're calling. Hey, Mrs. Jones, I got your information. I see you're looking for a list of homes in this area. What I want to do is make sure that I know exactly what you're looking for so that I can send you the correct information so you can make a good choice. What made you decide to start shopping? Now I get to ask some questions because that's the second part, moving into asking very specific questions. It doesn't make sense for me to just get on a call with you if I don't have any purpose. And if I know there's a purpose, well, then let's get down to it. Let me ask you some specific questions so that I can make sure I'm a good fit to help you solve your problem or get the thing that you're looking for. And if so, we'll talk about what that looks like. If not, no hard feelings. I don't want to waste your time. And I certainly wouldn't want to waste my time if I can't get you everything that you need. Does that sound fair? They're going to go, well, yeah, of course that sounds fair because I don't want to waste time and I'm trying to get this thing solved. Then we're going to go into L, which is we're going to ask all of those questions and we're going to listen very intently. And this is the part I think most people forget about is they get on the phone and they start asking a couple questions and then immediately start going into, okay, I've got a script and a pitch and I'm going to say all of these fancy things and you're going to want to buy from me. No one cares. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So if you listen very intently to the questions and answers, guess what they're going to tell you? Everything you need to know to close that deal. It's the craziest thing, Will, but people forget to ask questions so that they can figure out what this person needs so that they can close the sale. Now, once you've asked the questions, you're listening, you're getting to know these people, you're building rapport. The next step is to lay out a plan for success. Okay, Mrs. Jones, based on what you're telling me, you're looking for a home between 250 and 400,000, 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, pool preferable, but not necessary if it has space to be added in the future. Is that about right? Yep. Perfect. I'm going to create an exactly catered list for everything that you're looking for. I'm going to send it over for you. What I'd really like to know is what day makes the most sense for us to schedule a time to start looking at your top 3 favorites. Just right into the sale. Because after you've laid out your plan for success, the next step is to secure the bag. So you got CALLS, calls. We're making calls, and the last thing we got to do at the end is secure the bag. That means we got to get the signed contract. That means we got to solidify the deal. Whatever it is, we need to put things in motion to get paid. Because none of this is for free. You're all trying to do the job because you want to make a commission check. So from the start, Will sets up your ads. People say, hey, I need what you have to offer. You're going to pick up the phone and you're going to make some calls. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to get paid. Will, I'm gonna let you jump in for a second, so I don't want to just keep rambling. But what do you think? Is that pretty on point?
So it's 100% on point. So, right, in order for you guys to be able to follow up, you have to have what?
Leads.
Leads, right? You have to be able to generate leads. So that's why I work so well, I think, with Drewbie. We're starting to work together a little bit more now. But I'm going to jump into something right in the middle of where I usually go. But there are countless lead gen companies out there, or lead gen gurus out there, or whatever, right? There are very few. I mean, you know what? Fuck that. Let's be real. There are zero out there, um, that I know of anyway, that provides a space other than a website where you can read reviews on their service, right? And there's a point to where I'm going here, right? Um, there's no one out there that, other than like, hey, look at my website. Josh from, Indiana says I'm awesome, right? Come on, right? Let's be real here. Are some of them legit? Maybe. Mostly, probably not, right? And companies have to do what they have to do to market, right? But there are zero out there that give you access to all of their clients, to be able to talk to be able to see the reviews posted live, to be able to say, hey, what was your experience with this? Hey, Christina, that's a real person, by the way, Christina Bustamante, if you guys want to look in the group. She's one of my higher paid, or higher rate closers, rather, doing about 250 to 400 a year, depending on, where she's at. Luciano doing about 500K plus in GCI. These are just for my ads. But again, my point is, you don't get a whole lot of these companies that will give you access to be able to speak with their clients. I do, right? Now, my point with why I brought that up is there are also not very many, if any, companies out there that do lead generation that will also provide free ongoing follow-up webinars or trainings for you guys. It doesn't exist. Why? Because they've already gotten your money. They need to move on to what they consider other revenue generating tasks, right? I'd probably make a whole lot more money if I did the same things, but you guys would fucking hate me, right? Because you would not be able to close these leads. You don't know what kind of leads you're doing. These are not Zillow leads. These are not realtor.com leads. You have to pick up the fucking phone. You have to call. You have to call, text, call, text, whatever the fuck you have to do, right? Until they respond, or they tell you to fuck off. And I know, so if some of you guys are not okay with curse words, you're on the wrong webinar. I do it a lot, but you're going to learn a lot here. Okay. But those people that tell you, you know what, I'll PG a little bit for some of you guys, I'll give you a little bit of break. For those people that tell you to F off, right? That's okay. Don't get upset. Don't get discouraged. That's the number one thing that happens when people get cursed at or get talked too badly on the phone, is they get discouraged. They get afraid to call. You want that to happen, right? Here's why. Because my ads generate a lot of leads. When you generate 2, 3, 4, 500 leads, that list gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That means you're following up on more and more and more people. Let's just say you got 500 leads and 200 of those leads are never going to work with you. They have no intention of ever answering the phone for you, right? You call those leads, let's just say twice a week. Okay. It takes you about a minute per call, roughly. Or you know what? Let's just say half a minute per call, right? 30 seconds a call, 200 leads you're wasting time. Well, that's 100 minutes every time you call them, right? Say you call them twice a week, which is what you should be doing at least, right? Especially in the beginning. That's 200 minutes, right? I don't have a calculator sitting in front of me. What's that, roughly?
3 hours.
3 hours and 20 minutes that you're wasting, right? And now think about that.
I want to jump into something here because you're
Yeah,
teeing me up perfectly, man. And
I
for the
know what
sake of
I
time,
know
because
it.
I want to leave some value here. So
Yeah,
this is the next step, right? Okay, so let's say the lead comes in and you call it. Maybe they don't answer. What happens then? The majority of people that I've chatted with over the years, they call it. Maybe they send a text message, maybe they send an email, and then it goes in the trash. So that $5, $10, $50, $100, whatever it was that you spent to acquire that lead, you basically just lit it up and threw it in the garbage because you don't have a specific process that you follow every single time with every single lead. So when I look at any new business, whether I'm working with just like an independent entrepreneur, like a real estate broker, an agent, or if I'm stepping into a multi-million-dollar corporation with dozens of employees, I always look at the first thing. What's the process? What stages do your leads go through? What's going to happen? If I spent $5 to acquire information, what's the return on that look like? And how can I measure that? So I'm going to break it down for you. My new leads follow-up process. So Will, if I was an agent and you set up my ads for me and I would hire you because you're the best in the game, so I know I'd be getting quality ads, I'd go, okay, cool. Every lead that came in for the first 30 days, this is what it would look like. I would contact them on days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 15, 21, and 28 at a minimum. Now, I would also alternate between phone calls, text messages, emails. I'd probably try to find them on social media. If I could, I'd go and look up their house on Zillow and try to find their address and send them something by mail to let them know who I am and what I'm all about. I would absolutely blast them for the first 30 days. And then if they didn't answer, I'd move them into a further stage of warm leads where every other week for the next 12 weeks, they'd get some kind of message from me, whether a text or an email or a phone call. And then what would happen after that is they'd go into a cold stage. And once a month at a minimum, we'd be reaching out to them to check in to see where they're at in the process. And guess what? All those people who got really mad and told me to F off or like, no, I don't want to do business with me. Guess what? I'm going to ask them for a referral. Hey, no problem. It sounds like we're not a good fit to work together. That's totally cool. Do you know anyone who might be a good fit or who is looking to sell or who is in the same position? Because this is what's going to allow us to truly help you. And if you don't want to work together, that's cool. You submitted your information. I didn't just randomly reach out to you. You called me first, or you reached out to me first. I'm simply trying to fill my duty. And if it's not to serve you at this time, not a problem, Mr. Jones. Let me move you on to the future and remind you that I'm here if you need anything. The thing is, Will, like if real estate agents would just do that, just call their leads for the first 30 days, they would make at least 25% more GCI, but they don't. They get a couple, they call them once or twice, they say, oh, these leads are shit, they don't respond, blah, blah, blah. That's why Call the Damn Leads exists. I literally had a marketing company many, many moons ago. I was in insurance more so, but I had worked with some real estate agents, and I had one agent in particular had me list this condo for him. I built an ad. We got 100 leads in 30 days for this condo listing. I reach out to him mid-month. I'm like, hey, man, how's it going? Looks like we got a lot of leads coming in. He goes, I don't know. These leads are kind of shitty, man. I think I'm going to need a refund. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound right. Like 100 people? No way. So guess what? I picked up the phone and I called the damn leads. I'm not a real estate agent. I don't know shit about real estate at all. I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express one time, but I'm not an agent, right? Like I don't know any of this, but I called these leads. Guess what happened? Hey, I'd love to come and look at the house. When can I see it? Hey, can you tell me a little bit more about it? Hey, man, I went by the house. I got a signed contract ready to go. Where do I send it? Let's get this thing closed. I got cash money. So I hung up the phone, had him email me the contract, called the client and was like, bro, I don't know what's wrong with you, but like these leads are great. Here's half a dozen people that wanted to look at it, and here's a signed contract for cash ready to close. Like, you got problems, bro. Call the damn leads. P.S. Don't ever call me again. Here's your refund. And at that point, Call the Damn Leads was born. It took a little while. I had to, do some things, but that's where it all stemmed from, was literally like these clients had opportunity and they just wasted it because they wouldn't pick up the phone. It's crazy.
Man, I mean, I don't want to talk too much because I just took over your call, your
You're good. You're
session
good.
here a second ago. I get a little passionate about this stuff, but
I know.
there's two things that popped out at me. If you yourself go back and have some time down the road to listen to some of my previous webinars, this topic comes up, and you said it best. When agents or people call these leads, some of them will go, well, yeah, my credit's 500, and you know what happens? 99% of the time, that agent goes, oh, fuck, I these leads suck. Like they need credit repair. Well, that's why there's an average, guys. 93 to 96% of these people are going to be down the road or never work with you. That's why there's a national average of 3 to 6%. The national being 3, my average being 6, because we close at a higher rate. My point is, I love credit repair leads. I watched the guy here locally in Austin. His name's Chris Tennell, just in case you guys think I'm full of shit. He built a $20 million a year business in 3 years, within 3 years of becoming an agent, on credit repair and lease leads.
Mm.
He takes these, I always tell, I've said this on so many of my webinars. If you have a contact on the phone, you have an opportunity to make money, whether that person has bad credit or not. Why? Because just because they have bad credit doesn't mean their mom and dad do, doesn't mean their sister, brother, uncle, cousin, friend, someone they know is going to be able to buy a property. And here's what happens. 99% of the agents tell them, fuck off. Just, I'm never going to call you back. Right. So if you're the one that helps them, that person is going to remember you forever. And they're going to refer people to you over and over and over again. Hence why Chris did so well. Go ahead and take back over. I just wanted to put that out there.
No,
'cause
I
that was
appreciate
perfect
that.
what you said.
That's so good. And that's, again, one of those stages of the process. We know in real estate, it is a literal 3 to 6, maybe 9 month buying timeline. There's not very many that's like, I'm kind of crazy. When my wife and I decided we wanted to buy a house, we called our agent. We're like, cool, we want to buy a house. She's like, all right, let's go look. And we're like, no, we already know. Boom, this is where we're at. Make the offer. And she was like, what? Like, no, we did our due diligence, but most people don't. And even if they did, they're not always in that position. Maybe they need more of a down payment. Maybe they need some credit repair, or maybe the best thing for them to do isn't to take action right now. It's to say, hey, let me connect you with Kevin, my credit guy. He's going to take you from a 620 to a 690 over 90 days. What we're going to do during that time is we're going to look for places. We're going to make sure that you're pre-qualified correctly. That way, when we get to that point, we can already just go in hot and heavy and ready to make that offer. Let me put you in position to do what's right for you long term, not just what's right for me right now. Because as your agent, it's my fiduciary responsibility to make sure you're well taken care of. That's what I agreed to when I got this license. So can I please do that favor for you? They're going to go, well, okay, that makes sense. Like, I can save more money and get a bigger house by waiting 90 days and get my credit in order. Shit, why wouldn't I think of that before? I guess because I didn't know what I didn't know. That's, again, our job is to educate people on the process, on what we can do to help them so that we can put them in the right position. And I got about 5, maybe 10 more minutes before I got to run to my next meeting. But I want to leave you with this one, because this is the one metric that you can implement right now in your business. And it will, I promise you, generate a massive improvement in your GCI for this year. Now, you're not going to like it, but I'm going to give it to you, because here's the deal. If you want to be successful in sales in any industry across the board, you need to make at least 100 outbound attempts every day. Phone calls, text messages, DMs, like actual intentional attempts to reach outbound to people on your list. Not automations, not, none of that shit. Actual effort. Because of those 100 contacts, you're trying to have 10 serious conversations where you're making someone some sort of offer to work together. So trying to list their home, trying to get them set up as a buyer, whatever that case may be, you need to be having at least 10 serious conversations where you're making some sort of offer, and you want to get at least 2 signed deals. Now, here's what's crazy. So I'm not telling you got to do this every day. You got to do it 20 to 22 days a month, because the law of averages looks like this. If you're closing at somewhere around 2 to 3% on cold traffic or 10 to 20% on warm traffic, that's all going to equate to where you're getting somewhere between 30 and 50 deals a month. Now, are all of those deals going to close every single month? Probably not. But the truth is, over time, they're going to compound. And the effort that you do now over the next 3, 6, 9 months is what's going to truly create a massive amount of opportunity in the future. And I know you're going, Drewbie, nobody does 30 deals a month in real estate. That's crazy. Here's the deal. They do, but it's not you, because you're not believing that you can do it through putting in the effort and having this extra work going on. Because here's the deal. If Will can feed you leads and you can pick up the phone and call them, and you can actually do what you tell the world that you can do, Mr. or Mrs. Top Producer, then you can go out there and you can call these damn leads and you can close these sales and you can get paid. Now, maybe you're like, well, I don't want to do that much work. Okay, cut it in half. Go 50-5-1. You're still going to be getting a shitload more deals than you're getting right now. But the truth is, you have one simple metric that you can lean back on every day that will get you a result. Plain and simple. It's like if you went to the gym and did 100 burpees every day, you're going to get stronger. It's going to suck, but you're going to get stronger. So what I would recommend for you is looking at your daily metrics. how much effort are you putting in every day? Are you making 100 calls? Are you having 10 conversations with people? Are you getting 1 or 2 signed contracts? If you're not, put together a little tracking sheet and start tracking this, because this is what's going to allow you to take all of these amazing leads that Will's generating for you, actually convert them into clients, and get paid the profits that you deserve to be paid.
It's like music to my ears. And sometimes it just takes bringing in, guys, somebody from the outside other than myself to tell you guys this stuff. Obviously, Drewbie added a lot of stuff that I don't talk about on here as well. But some of the stuff we've talked about, and a lot of you guys don't pay attention to it. And it's kind of like when our wives tell us stuff, right? All the time, we don't listen, but then our friend tells us the same exact shit, and we're just like, God damn, why didn't
Genius.
somebody tell me that sooner, right? And our wives or husbands get pissed off at us, right? But the number one thing I hear from agents, one of the top things anyway, is, oh, I generated 40 leads and nothing's panning out and blah blah blah, and then I'll go and I'll dig into stuff and I'll realize I only called them once or didn't call them at all, or texted them and didn't get a response, and we're like, oh, this is shit, right? And this is why so many agents fail at being able to stay in the business. It's because they jump from one program to the next, to the next, to the next, looking for the next best thing, right? And there are other programs that are out there that are good, just like mine, right? But I just don't focus on those things. I focus on what's best for you guys, which is testing ads and helping you follow up on them. But you guys have to have a system in place. If you spent the time that you spent jumping around to different systems, focused on one thing, just like Drewbie said, spend enough time in the gym and you're going to get stronger, you're going to close more deals. It's hands down. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. It's what happens, right? When I started this company, I failed and failed and failed and failed, and then I succeeded because I kept on going. I kept on moving. I kept on moving. But there's one thing that he said earlier. There's one thing out of everything that we do, whether it's posting on social media or generating leads or following up on leads or doing our tree service or whatever it is. There's one thing that we see on a daily or weekly or monthly, whatever basis, that doesn't lie to us, right? It can't lie to us. Do you guys know what that is? It's data.
The
The data
numbers,
doesn't.
baby.
The numbers don't lie,
That's
right?
it.
When you guys go, why is Christina Bustamante killing it? Why is Luciano Balears? These are real people. They're posted up in the very top of the group in the featured section because their reviews are spot on. 250,000, 500K. I've got a couple up there that are over 1 million in GCI from just my leads from my ads, right? Why are they? They must be in different areas. No, that's not it. If you call Christina, I'll tell you what Christina does. Christina's in my market and she's in Austin. She calls and calls and calls and calls and texts and follows up. And then when she's done, she moves them into a different bucket, just like Drewbie said. But then she has another person that calls them and texts them and follows up on them. And she closes at almost 11%, which is unheard of. But anyway, guys, my point is Drewbie's spot on, right? You have to be consistent. That's really all it boils down to at the end of the day is consistency. Even if you have shitty follow-up and you're just super scared when you're on the phone, that consistency is going to land you something at some point. You're going to talk to some people. Right now, though, I know Drewbie's running on a timeline, and then we'll go into my piece. Do you guys have any questions? Throw them in the chat box, not the Q&A box, please. The chat box on Zoom here, and let's talk.
Toss them in there. Yeah, toss them in there. And while they're putting those in there, if we don't see any, then, hey, I just want to thank you for the opportunity. But here's what I want to reiterate, you guys. Like, I know I'm not a real estate agent, but I can tell you that in the last 5 years, I've done $13 million in sales at an average transaction rate of $5,000. So if you just want to do some basic math, like whatever your average home is, like if you sell a $250,000 home, well then, okay, I've done somewhere around $58 million worth of transactions. Like, I'm not saying any of this without having the experience and the actual knowledge of doing this day in and day out. So it's not like I'm just winging this stuff. I've done this. I've had so many conversations. I can't even see street most days. And I want to share it with you because I know it will work. So Tanya, do you have a script we can use when calling or messaging leads to reference? So again, I always look at where did the lead come from? That's your first most important thing. Hey, I'm reaching out because you XYZ. That's confirming the reason that we're having a conversation. Hey, Mr. Jones, I saw that you had requested information regarding top 10 properties in your area. I saw that you were looking to learn how to get 10% more when you close on your home. Hey, I understand that you're looking for new homes in XYZ market. What made you decide to start shopping for a new home at this time? Well, our family's growing, or we're downsizing, I'm getting divorced. Like, you have to ask these questions, and the easiest thing that you can do right off the rip is just confirm the reason you're even there to talk to them. Hey, I'd love to know what made you decide this. That's it. Keep it simple and then let them talk. If they give you one word answers, have 10 or 12 questions lined up in your back pocket that you can fire off. I call them pre-qualifying questions. Again, learn more about it in the book, or get with me and Will. We'll talk about the things that we're rolling out for you guys. But point is, have the process, go through those questions, and then know how to go through and do what you do best. Like, that to me is the funniest thing, is I'm teaching you guys what I consider the basics. You're the experts. You know all these things. I'm just going to help simplify all of that great knowledge that you have, make it easy for you to approach that conversation with individuals so that you can do what you do. That's it. Make it easy for them. Everybody wins.
Yep. That's right, man. And Tanya, I'm going to cover this a little bit more in depth because that question is perfect. And for those of you who are still listening, we're not done yet. Drewbie's done. I still got a ways to go. I'm going to start another company on the side of yours called Shut Up and Listen, because that's like one of the things that that's one of the things that I say, right? When you open those calls, ask them a question and then shut up and listen to what they have to say.
Love
Right?
it.
Don't
Well,
don't
I
try to
gotta
control.
run, brother. I
All right, brother, man.
appreciate it. I look forward to another call in the future. We got a lot more we can get into with these folks, but thank you all for being here. Thank you for giving me a little time. We'll see you on the next one.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon. All right, guys, you guys stick around. We'll finish up. We probably got another 10, 15 minutes to go, depending on y'all's questions. And then we'll go from there. But I wanna touch back on I'm gonna launch a web page here my ads manager here real quick while we're talking. But Tanya, to touch on what you said, this kind of skips me ahead a little bit, but since the question got asked, I want to go ahead and touch on it. When you open up these calls, okay, when you're calling, just like Drewbie said, you're typically calling with a what based on that lead hitting you up, right? That lead hits you up. You're asking for they're asking for information. When you open a call, you don't want to script these people on a big old script, because what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up making these people think that you're a robot or you're a telemarketer. Because one of the biggest things I hear in the group is like, "Hey, I called these leads and they said I don't know, they don't know who I am, or they didn't submit their information. Here's why." Right? I can guarantee you, as much as you want to deny it, or some of you are going to be like, "No, I don't do that." You absolutely do, because I still do it sometimes. You'll call and you'll go, "Hey, Tanya, this is William Hegmannn. I'm calling from Realty Solutions. How are you doing today?" Or, "I'm calling from eXp Realty," or wherever you're with. Soon as they hear that shit, they're done. They go, "Oh crap, telemarketer." You guys do it every day. I guarantee you get tons of calls every single day, and you go, "Oh shit, damn it, another telemarketer's calling me." Right? When you call these leads, you've got to call them with, absolute statements. "Hey, Tanya, this is William Hegmannn. I'm calling because you submitted your information to my ad about selling your home. How can I help you?" Now you've taken away any ability for them to go, "No, I didn't submit." You're telling them, "Yes, you did. You submitted your information. I've got your phone number and your email. Here's why I'm hitting you up, because you asked me to. What's up?" You just did it in a very nice way, right? Same thing with the text, except I do it a little bit differently. And this is where I'm going to issue a challenge here in a little bit also, because it's the same challenge I posted in the group, but I think more people will see it on this webinar. But when you text a lead, don't text them this big long paragraph with your signature and your face on it and shit. People don't give a shit about our personal branding. They don't do it. That's why I don't add y'all's brandings to the ads, because they don't care about what we look like. They don't care what suit we have on or whatever. They just want the information they want, and they want to move on, right? You're like that too. When was the last time you saw your insurance agent's ad pop up and you were like, "Oh, nice fucking suit he's got on there. You know what? I'm gonna call him because he's got a nice suit on." But you just don't do it. And the other thing is like you guys tend to focus a lot on I need to make sure my business page is pretty and all this other stuff. But the reality is people don't even go to those pages. They don't look at them. I'll give you an example. When was the last time one of you guys said, you know what, I need to, check out my life insurance or my car insurance. You know what? Let me go check out my insurance agent's Facebook page. That's where I'll get some information. You just don't do it. Right? That's reality. Some of you guys comment or chat, post in the chat box. Let's be real. That's the reality, right? You want what you want and you want to move on. So we'll talk about that challenge piece here in a few minutes. I'm going to cover a few other things I have written down to make sure I don't forget to cover this stuff. But so we've gathered that follow up is the second most important thing in lead generation. The first being leads, right? You have to generate leads. And we've covered that most companies won't help you with follow up when once they help you with the lead gen because they've gotten your money, they move on, they don't care, they're gone. I don't do it that way. And people go, well, why? What makes you so different? Why? Because I see the big picture. These guys that come in and I call them fly by nights, right? They come in, they make some money, they get out. They can't figure out why they got so popular and then fell off or people stopped coming to them. Why? Because they didn't provide good customer service. If I provide great customer service and you guys win, I win. Because if you guys are happy with my service, I help you close deals, even though that's not really my job. I give you everything you need to close these deals. You're going to go, fuck, man, this Will stuff is legit. And when your friends ask about lead gen, you're going to refer them to me. I'm going to get more business. Everybody wins. You close deals, you make money for your family. I help you close deals, I get referrals from you. And the wheel keeps turning, right? I'm also an agent and I owned a brokerage for a long time. So I dealt with these things. One of the reasons why I developed the program that I have is because I care, is because I got screwed over by quite a few companies out there and I decided to go out and learn to do it on my own. Okay. Why do I do these follow-up webinars for free for everybody? Right. I do them for my clients, obviously, but I do them for free. I don't charge, people who aren't my clients for these because if I can help you with something and you find value in the information I provided, maybe one day you'll sign up for my lead gen. Who knows? If not, no big deal. Good luck to you. I hope you close a lot of deals. Right. And that's how we all win. The money becomes the byproduct of what we do every single day. Just like with your clients, you help them find a home, you help them sell a home, you provide exceptional service. What do you ask them for? Reviews. And those reviews help. And they're going to refer people to you, right? Again, it becomes a big old wheel. But at the end of the day, guys, going back to what Drewbie said, it takes time to build a funnel and a wheel. These leads don't just close week one. Oh, I got 17 contracts once I generate leads. You have to stay consistent with it. Okay. It takes time to build the funnel. It takes time to build the wheel of working deals. It takes time to follow up on these people and keep these going. Right now, we'll go over to my types of ads. People go, well, I don't want a buyer's ad. I just want seller's ads. Right. But my buyer's ads are designed to draw in sellers. And then people get confused, right? Get that question mark look over there, on their face. Here's what I mean. Okay. Like list of homes, for example. Obviously, first-time home buyers not going to draw in a bunch of sellers because it's first-time home buyers. But list of homes or open house, so people that want to see open houses or people that want to see, second-time loan options or whatever. These are move-up buyers, right? Or move-up sellers. They're selling, they're moving up, or they're selling and moving down, whatever. Right? They always end up in the market as a buyer first. Most sellers, with the exception of death, divorce, moving out of state, etc., end up in the market as a buyer first because nobody's going to list their home, get it under contract, and then figure out where the fuck they want to go. Right? They got to know where they want to move to. They got to look at some properties. They got to see what they want. Is it feasible for them to even move? Does it make sense? They end up in the market as a buyer first, and any damn good agent that gets a buyer lead is going to ask that person, do you have a home to sell first? Right? Oh, you do. Right? 60 to 70%, depending on the ad, that I launched for you, of these people are going to have homes that they need to sell first. That there's no if, ands, or buts about it. That's the data, right? It's simple and plain. That's the data. Okay. So you always want to make sure you're running a mix of leads. And then people will ask, well, how come it costs me a lot more to generate a seller lead than it does to generate a buyer lead? Because I don't know the numbers here, but there are 10, 20, 30 times more buyers out there than there are sellers. right? The market's much, much smaller. I got tons of people looking to buy houses. They're going to hit my buyer's ads. A lot of them are going to be sellers. People that are looking to sell a home, very, very, very much smaller market, a lot less of them to see your ad, cost per lead goes up. You see how that balances out, right? But at the end of the day, honestly, I mean, seller leads are, for mine, because they're really good seller leads and they convert to listings. They run anywhere from $20 to $50 a lead, depending on the market. Austin, of course, I'd be in the one that costs me a fuck ton more, but it is what it is. I don't care if I pay $100 a lead. If they're closing at 10%, I spend $1,000 to get 10 leads, and I closed one of them at 500K. That's 15K, or 500K. I'm doing math wrong. My math is off today because I'm tired, apparently, from my vacation. But anyway, you're making, say 5 to 600K. You're making 15 to 18K on that deal. Back out your costs. That's a hell of an ROI, right? So you got to stay focused with these things. Now, people have asked me, because I posted all of my seller leads. I posted all of my my listings. I posted all of my closings in 22 and 23. And people have asked, like, why do you do that? Like, I do that, one, because I get those deals off of testing ads. I spend about $300,000 to $400,000 a year testing ads. But why wouldn't I, right? I closed 600K or 22 million roughly in 2022, and I did this part time. Granted, now I'm not working my own listings. I take them through my listing presentation. I do all the chatting. I do all the talking. I get everything signed, and then I hand it off to one of my agents that works with me to facilitate all the paperwork. So they do all the back end stuff. But I'm the one generating the lead. I'm the one closing the deal. That's you too. That can be you too. Now, people ask, what ad is working the best for you guys? And this one's going to throw you off a little bit, but hear me out. My wholesale ad, my We Buy Ugly Houses ad, is the one that works the best. Now, I don't buy ugly houses. I don't wholesale anymore. Why do I run that ad? That's probably the question you're asking yourself. Why? Because a lot of those leads end up being sellers that just want to see how much they can get for their house from you, because they want to sell quicker than having to put it on the market. A lot of them won't even turn into wholesale deals. A lot of them will turn into listings. Well, I'll tell you what, I can get your house sold for you quick. Me personally, I offer them a 0.5% off of my fee. So I'll tell them, look, here's typically what I recommend to pay the buyer's agent. Here's what I usually charge for myself, but I'll knock off a 0.5% for myself, which will save you $3,000 or whatever that, amount totals up to be. Get you closed up. As long as you buy with me. So I leverage it with, as long as you're going to let me use you're going to use me to do the purchase of your next home, I'll do that deal for you. I always lock up double-sided, a sell buy with that deal. Okay. There's so many ways to make money in this thing, as long as you guys are following up and following the process. Then I get asked, hey man, like, I see your ads, but I don't really like the way they're designed. It's not really my style. It doesn't really fit my branding. Now go back to what I said earlier. And there's no nice way to say this, right? And I'm not directing it at anyone. It's just a general statement. Nobody gives a shit about our branding, right? Nobody cares about the pretty gold and black colors we use, or the red and the yellow, or whatever it is we put together, right? And the fact of the matter is, if the branding was working for you to begin with, you wouldn't have a need to talk to me, right? I don't design my ads based on, and I don't run my ads based on what it is I like or what I don't like. I base it on what works and what doesn't. About half the ads that I've designed, I don't even particularly love the design. Some of them I hate personally, but the general public disagrees, because when I put those ads out there, the leads, they come in, the deals, they close. That means my personal opinion doesn't mean shit, right? They don't care about what my personal feelings are about a design. They don't care about what my personal feelings are about a specific ad. What they care about is being able to see the ad. I do a lot of eye-catching things. I do a lot of bright, vibrant, stuff that I don't typically really love. I love more of a clean-cut look. That's me personally for my ads. But what works is the crazy looking, loud, attention-getting things. And I boil it down to, when you're on Facebook and you're scrolling through all these ads and photos and people posting and friends doing this and videos, I have to make sure that my ads stand out. And how do I do that? I make them loud. I make them colorful. I make it to where you can't miss my shit, right? You have to see it. And because I'm targeting the right people, once they see it, they engage with it because it's something that they're actively doing, which is searching for a home or looking to sell a property, right? It works and it works really, really well. So, for those of you who have gone into the ads manager and changed the photos I put on there for you and then messaged me and said, "Hey, my ad's not working anymore," as if it's some sort of um, you know, mystery as to why, don't do that. Run the ads, the leads are working. Don't mess up a good thing. Right. So again, I don't design ads around anyone's personal branding. I don't design them around what colors they like and don't like. I tailor them around what works, what area they're in, the testing I've done, what the data tells me. End of story. Okay. I gave you guys an example of the ROI on that. And if you want a live example, because of course my opinions and what I'm telling you is biased because I have a financial stake in telling you certain things, but what I'm telling you is the truth. You can go into the group, go up to the featured section, you know, uh, message Luciano, message Christina. I gave you those names, so of course those could be biased too. They're not, but they could be. Go and search for one of the other. There's probably 30 or 40,000 reviews at this point. I have 72,000 clients. I think 30 to 40,000 of them have put up reviews. Scroll back a year, scroll back 5 years. I don't care. Pick out 20 of those people that left me good reviews and go talk to them on your own. That's unbiased feedback, right? I can't be talking to all 10,000, 20, 30,000 people at the same time telling them, "Hey, give Scott or Kim or Drewbie or whoever great feedback." They're doing that because what I do works, right? That's why you don't, when you guys message me and say, "Hey, can I get information on your training?" I send it to you, and then what happens? You never hear from me again. I don't message you. I don't go, "Hey man, are you gonna sign up?" Or, "Hey dude, are you ready?" I don't follow up on you guys. I know that's contradictory to this deal, but you're not a seller lead. You're not a buyer lead. You're a person who has probably reached out to multiple lead gen companies, who's probably had a bad experience before. I'm not going to pressure you. I have a long line of people who want to get in for this, and that's not me being cocky. That's me being, "Hey, I don't need to bother them. I'll let them book when they're ready. If they're ready, if they're great. If they're not, they don't want to work with me. That's cool. I'm not going to pressure you guys on that side of the ball." Um, Now, I have a couple more things to cover before I end this call. Okay, I issued a challenge last week, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Not what it was, but the layout of it. It was 200 leads. I said, if you have 200 leads or whatever it is, take one, two, 300 leads, right? Send them an email and send them a text. Let the email be, uh, "Kim, I'm going to pick on you," right? Or, "Hey, Kim, this is William Hegmannn. You submitted your information to one of my ads a while back about because you were looking to purchase a home. Are you still interested?" Or you can make it even shorter. "Hey, Kim, are you still interested in purchasing a home? There's some pretty good deals out there right now." That's it. Signed, Kim. Don't put your phone number. Don't put your email. Personal email, right? Make it look very personal. With the text message, text 100 of them. "Hey, is this Scott?" Or whatever their first name is. Don't put first name in there. People actually did that when I posted that. They actually put, "Hi, first name." Mistakes happen, but don't do that. Okay. Um, Wait for them to respond. 9 times out of 10, curiosity kills the cat. They're going to go, "Yeah, who's this?" "Hey man, it's Will," or whatever, right? Whoever you are. You had inquired about selling your home a while back. You still interested? Get the conversation started. Once they respond, they'll typically keep going. Then follow up with them. Um, can you guys see my screen? Tell me if you can see my screen. I'm gonna go show you something real quick. Can't remember who it was on that post. I got to remember who it was that posted on there, but he made a post on my live. If you'll indulge me for a moment, guys, without dropping off the call, give me like 60 seconds. Let me search and find it because this was the perfect uh, example for you guys. It was on the last live I did. Let me find it in here real quick because I can't remember. one of my good trainees. I'm sorry, dude, that I can't remember your name. I talked to a lot of people. I'm sorry. I can't remember who it was that posted it, but he took the challenge. There it is. Mike. I even posted about it. This is what he went. This is what he did. I issued the challenge. So when someone offers a challenge, I rarely try to take it on. He mass text 200 cold leads. Here's an example of a lead that responded. They're pre-approved now. They're out and shopping, and I think he has one under contract now. I issued that challenge about 2 weeks ago. Right? There's money in these leads. You can't just throw them to the sides. Oh, you can only see the campaign page, Wayne. Hold on 1 second. Maybe I shared the wrong thing. Give me a sec. I apologize, guys. 1 second. Here I am over here talking too much, and thank you for letting me know. Where is it? Oh, it's because I shared one screen and not the whole desktop. There it is. Can you see that now, Wayne? All right, sweet. Dude, thank you for not letting me go on for another 10 minutes. But this is what I was searching for, guys, for those of you. So Mike, right? You can go talk to him if you want to. Again, here's what he posted. You know, he got a couple of deals out of it. He's got one looking, one under contract, and I think he listed a property for one of them as well. I'll ask him to post an update, or you guys can reach out to him personally if you want. But that's my point, right? Don't just let these leads sit in there and think, they're shit. Because even if they're 2 years old, hell, those people may be looking to move again. They may be thinking, they may have gotten a job somewhere and they need to move. Always follow up on your old leads just like you do your new ones. So let's talk a little bit about ad structure and how I structure the ads for those of you who don't have my training. And then I'll open this up for some Q&A. Also, if you have questions, guys, I'm watching the chat box. So go ahead, pop those questions in there, and I'll answer them as I'm going on. So people ask me, like, what makes your ads so much better than everyone else's? Well, I don't really focus on everyone else, so I don't know what everyone else's ads look like or what they do. I can only tell you based on my clients' reviews and how happy they are with my service when they compare it to others. But like when I open up when I open up an ads manager and I'm building an ad, I went over what type of photo I use, right? Very bright, very vibrant, gets the point across. When I do the verbiage, I don't just throw up stuff like, hey, get a list of homes. No, there's a structure to how I do things. I'll open it up and you'll see a lot of my stuff out there. It'll be like attention homeowner, attention home seller, attention, Round Rock residents or whatever it is, right? I'm just identifying who I'm talking to. Then I create a problem statement. What's the number one problem for people when they're looking for a home? Don't waste your time driving all over the city looking for, your new home. I've created a list of homes for you in this price range or whatever it is. I've created a problem. I've reminded them of the problems they're dealing with. Why is it a problem for them? We have to think deeper, right? You have to think deeper with these people. When my wife used to make me go out and look at properties, we bought about 2 or 3 homes, 3 homes now together. She'd make me drive around, even though we have the internet, it doesn't matter. She wants to see the neighborhood. She wants to see the area, the park, see what the schools look like, right? 9 times out of 10, we're driving around with our kids. They're going to drive us fucking crazy. I hated it because we would drive around looking for houses. They were bored as shit. They got on our nerves, right? That's what I'm doing. Don't waste your time driving around. Don't stress yourself driving around looking for a home. I've got a list of homes for you to go check out right here in your price range, exactly what you want. That's the solution. Okay. Then I'm creating a sense of urgency, right? Please grab this list while it's available. I won't have this ad up long, whatever that statement is. Okay. Then I put in a more sense of urgency, more of a fear type statement. Can you afford to miss this opportunity? Can you afford not to see what's on this list? Can you afford to spend more money than you have to by not seeing what's on this list? Whatever that is, it's all these things that create that feeling inside of that person's mind that they need to take advantage of what it is you're offering. And that's why my ads get more hits and they get more leads, and the leads are warm or hot. And yes, they cost more per lead. Why? Because I'm not targeting everyone. Everyone in your city is not an immediate client or a warm lead, right? That's how you get 25 to 50% leads. When you just throw it out there to everybody with no targeting, of course, random ass people are going to hit your ad, and then you're going to work through 300 or 400 leads that cost you a quarter a piece, and you might, if you're lucky, get one deal, maybe. After what? Spending 100 hours working on it, and then you bust that down. Once you close that deal, congratulations, you made minimum wage or less than, right? You need to be extremely targeted. I target these ads down on people that are looking for homes that are ready to go, that can close and will close if you help them out, right? And then once we get to that stage and you've got those leads, that's where all the follow-up comes into play. I'm not trying to sell you on my service, guys. The group does that for me. The reviews do that for me, right? That my product sells itself because it works. I'm trying to get you to understand how we generate these leads and why it's important to follow up on them a certain way to get them to close, and why what you may be doing right now is not working, and and see the differences in what you're doing and what we do to help you hone in on what you should be doing and tailor what your follow-up is so that you can close more deals. um Carlo, you can shoot me a message. I don't do Zooms with folks outside of my clients because I'm just so busy. I do these after my work hours, these webinars. That's why I only do one a month because I don't have time. But if you have questions, feel free to shoot me those questions. I can also hop on a quick call after hours when I'm driving the kids to wherever or whatever. But I don't have time to sit for Zooms, unfortunately. The only reason is I get a lot of requests for that, and I mean I'd have to schedule a whole day just for that. But feel free to shoot me a message. Michelle, how specific can we get on targeting? With the fair housing laws that went into place in that lawsuit that went into place, Facebook was forced to change a bunch of things, but we can still get pretty specific. I'm able to target my ads down on people that have been searching in the last 30 to 60 days. Connie, how much do you charge? I have many options. Feel free to shoot me a message and I'll send you the list of options, what they include, and what the charges are for those. You're very welcome. All right, guys. So that's about all I had for today. We're buttoned up right at an hour here. I'll close this out with some Q&A. I'll stay on for a minute or two if you guys have any questions. If not, feel free to hop off. I will post this replay in the group here shortly, and I'll be uploading it to YouTube as well. For those of you who have my YouTube follow-up videos that are trainees, this will be up there for you to look at. Scott, no, I don't do geofencing. I don't have a need for it. It's a thing that costs more money that doesn't help or hurt my clients or my close rates really at all. So I don't worry about doing that. Just like I don't deal with retargeting either. It's I've learned through the data that we have zero uptick in the close rate by adding those things and spending the money on it. So there's no point in doing it. Guys, I think this might be one of the best webinars we've done in a while, with Drewbie on here and the information he gave and the questions you guys have asked. It's been really, really good. Kim Booth, can I ask a question? No, you cannot. No, I'm kidding. Yes, you can ask anything you want. Denise, I can find access to the YouTube training. Denise, you're a trainee, so that email I sent you when you trained with the follow-up, with the training videos and all that stuff in there, I think it's the third or fourth link. Actually, let me look at it real quick. Where is it? In that email, it is one, two. It's the third link down in that email. Denise, shoot me an email with shoot me a message on Facebook with your email and I'll forward it to you. But it should still be in your email though. Even if your laptop crashed, it's in your email, so you should be able to find it there. And you're very welcome. Kim, she said, do we need a CRM set up to integrate with your ads? Best one recommendation. My recommendation is going to be biased because I do own a CRM called Social CRM. You don't have to use that one. You're not obligated to do so if you become a client of mine. Depends on how much money you want to spend. Follow Up Boss is great, but they don't do text messaging anymore, just so you guys know. And they're also owned by Zillow now. The tool still is what it is. It's still good. Just depends on your feelings about using a CRM that's owned by Zillow, um, and not having text messages. Another good one that would be comparable to mine, I guess, would be probably Lion Desk. Those are the only two that I could really consciously say would be good, viable options. If you're looking to spend a lot more money and have IDX and website feeds, Lofty's good. Or it used to be Chime, but Lofty now. Those could work. Let's see. Can you leave your CRM link so I can check it out? Absolutely. Let me see here. CRM. If I could type correctly. There it is. Also, guys, I provide a lot of information in my book. I don't ever promote my book. I haven't in a while. It's in the group. But for those of you who want to see it or want to read it, it's about my life, how I built my businesses, um, how I do lead gen, how I operate, all together. It's the struggle to success. There it is there. I'll go ahead and post that in the chat also. But for those of you who don't see it on the replay, it's the struggle to success. You scroll down a little bit, you'll see my beautiful face on that cover right there. See that? No blemishes, none of that. Anyway, you can check that out. It's $17.99 for the hardcover, $12.99 for the paperback. Free if you have Kindle Unlimited. Outside of that, there's not many questions coming in at this point. So, Wayne, the link for the website, the CRM is inside of the group as well, but I just posted it above for everybody in the chat box. It's socialcrmpro.com. You can check it out there. Again, you can search for Social CRM in the group. It'll be there, and I'll also post it on the description when I post the replay of the webinar in the group here shortly. Once I end the webinar, it'll take about 30 minutes for it to propagate and download, and then I'll post it in the link there as well. Let's see, Scott, there's a couple of other questions. So with list of homes ad, I reach out to leads. If I don't get through, I send a wide range of, no, don't ever send them anything. That's the thing, guys. When you send a lead a list, no matter what it is, if you send them information before they talk to you, then they feel like they don't have to talk to you, right? They need to speak with you first, and that's your leverage to get in. Hey, I need to speak with you so that I can get you a list of whatever the ad is about that's tailored to exactly what you're looking for, so that you're not digging through a bunch of trash and stuff that doesn't apply to you. That's why we need to speak. So that's your leverage. Otherwise, don't send them anything. Matt, where can we find the other book, Call the Leads, that was mentioned earlier? I'll post a link to that one as well, but he should have it up on Amazon. It's called Call the Damn Leads. And there it is right there, first one. So the struggle to success for mine, Call the Damn Leads for Drewbie. For follow-up, mine's around, my life, how I built my businesses and how I do lead generation. Pretty good, two pretty good books to have to read back to back if you really want to dig into how this works. All right, guys, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this now. It was a pleasure. I hope you guys found great value out of what we provided here today. If you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me a message. Otherwise, I'll be here to help if you need me.